Hey guys, a solo David Nuno here for TexAgs Rewind. What a depressed weekend I had. A&M Arkansas didn't go as planned. That's all right, though. We broke it down. We gave our thoughts there during the go hour. Also, Billy Lucci. What went wrong? A lot went wrong. Lucci was able to target in on that. We had Tom Hart previewing the Mississippi State game. He's on the SEC Network. He broke it all down for us. And, of course, we kept it up with Peter Burns of the SEC Network as well. A&M's got to fix some things. They got a lot of work to do. But knowing where this program was a few months ago to how it feels at the moment, it's a pretty steep fall. Just one loss, by the way, but it's still a pretty steep fall.
Well, when you've scored 20 points against two Power 5 opponents, there's a reason to be frustrated and concerned, and I think you're seeing the frustration. They won't ever say it, but I think you're seeing it with body language and then even with play among other players on the offense. You mentioned the problems with the offensive line. There are some issues, but they're also, I think they're getting, they might have gotten blamed for a sack or two that not necessarily was their fault. I mean, you can only hold the ball so long. I think the biggest issue with A&M, besides, maybe there's a talent problem.
Yep.
Or just a not ready problem, but is there's just too much indecision on offense. And I think that's a big part. I think I watched Zach Calzada, and sometimes I'd say, we'd see an open receiver or an opportunity to run, and the hesitancy to make a decision really hurt them.
Arkansas came out ready to play. A&M did not. And to me, that is inexcusable. With an 11-game win streak, 9 against this team, to not be ready. Now, does that mean that maybe not ready is not the right word, but they didn't bring it from the first snap?
I think Billy put it best. He said for Arkansas, it was personal.
Yeah.
And for A&M, it was like, wait. Oh, you guys are taking this much too seriously. Okay, I guess we're going to have to as well. But it was 16 minutes into the game, and you were down 17-0 before they started matching that intensity.
There's a lot of things you can point at and say, had they done this, they weren't the better team.
Nope.
They weren't. And if you want to talk about the play on the interception, the targeting, or whatever you want to call it on that play, I don't think A&M can score at the way we have seen them. They can't score 17 points right now. Things have to change. People have got to get healthy, and decisions have to be made by the quarterback. And if a split second determines if a wide receiver is open or not, 3 seconds longer with the ball, everything collapses. The line has struggled. There's no doubt about it. But you've got to protect the line a little bit, too, by making some quicker decisions. There's a lot of issues out there. I think I'm in a worse mood today than I was yesterday.
Yeah.
But I also know that you can brighten my day with some optimism. Good morning to you, Billy.
I don't have a lot for you other than – no, I don't. I don't have very much. I don't think Saturday's performance was good on any level. There are losses where you go, hey, I can't really say that about this one.
Mm-hmm.
I think everyone in that A&M locker room has probably got to be in bright today. They've got to be kicking themselves. And, it's one of those games where if you wish you could replay it and play it back, which you probably do to some level after every loss, but when you sit there and go, man, we played terribly, and what can we fix? And I think particularly defense would have liked to reset on that thing, number one, just because they were so bad at the start and then settled in. And it's like, gosh, we weren't that bad at the start. Completely different game.
But that seems to be an issue, though.
Yeah, for sure.
Not just one game. It's not isolated to
Yeah, but it's not like they're getting destroyed at the start, but they also haven't played good teams.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not.
But Colorado was a bad start.
Yeah, but it wasn't like they had an interception on the first possession.
Yeah.
Third play of the game, they had an interception that should have led to A&M point. The team started bad, and the defense was getting the ball moved on them, but they didn't. They gave up 7 points in the first half. So I can say their second half was incredible. Their first half was shaky, but I don't want to go, this is a slow starting bad defense, but it was on Saturday. There's no question about it. But, I mean, throughout the year, through 4 games, we've seen them not be airtight for long stretches. They haven't been airtight against the run because we're 4 games in now, and they're going to play better teams from here on out. They haven't played the most explosive offense. Arkansas is a difficult offense to defend because of the running quarterback, because how they can attack you vertically with Burks and that big arm, and they can run the football so well. So they're tough, but, I mean, you've still got to play Alabama. You've got to play Ole Miss. Missouri can move the ball, if nothing else. They've got a good quarterback. Mississippi State this week is going to sling it around. LSU's kind of figured things out offensively, at least, their big plays in the passing game. So you've got the bigger tests are still to come, no question about it. So they've got to fix some things on defense. But we're talking about Saturday. They got ambushed from the beginning. So, again, it's one of those deals where you're going, God, that cost us the game right there. And I'm not saying it was just the defense, because clearly 20 points, while A&M probably went into that one expecting to hold Arkansas to less, you also should expect your offense to score more than 20. And they scored half that.
If you would have told me before the game you're going to hold Arkansas to 20, I would have told you A&M wins.
If you made me bet on that, I would have, but it would have been close. Because the offense, I was predicting 23-17, 20-17 A&M, and thinking it was going to be a final possession type thing. And they almost got it there. Credit the team for the fight. Credit Jimbo and Elko for the halftime adjustments. The team, Jimbo for whatever he did with the team at halftime, because it looked bleak. And then you look up, and very quickly, you're only midway through the third, you're only down 7. Then you get the ball back with a chance to tie, and then there's a disastrous, interception that goes off a guy's helmet. Targeting wasn't called. Blatant, right in front of the official. They don't call that. They've called 76 bad targetings on A&M this year that they've ended up, I feel like they've reversed, but the refs are really quick and free to throw that. It's a game-changing play. Am I sure A&M goes the next 50 yards for a touchdown? No. Absolutely not.
We didn't get to see it.
But you also, if you go 3 and out there, you punt it, and they're getting the ball with Malik Hornsby deep in their own end, and you're probably getting it back for a second chance to tie it in decent field position, as opposed to what happened, which was so. I mean, it was a game-changing no call, but A&M just played. They played really poorly, David. In addition to what we know, we knew the offensive line.
Right.
And if you'd told me then midway through the game you're going to lose Jameer Johnson and that O-line was going to get even more shaken up, I would have said, yeah, it's going to be a rough one for the offense. Calzada never looked comfortable or confident. They've got a quarterback issue, and they've got an O-line issue. They had receivers out. They have a receiver issue. Their offense is
that's a lot of issues.
It's a mess.
Yeah.
It's a mess right now. And a lot of it's understandable. Find me an offense in college football, and I'm sure there's one. Maybe it's Clemson. Maybe that's why they're so bad. They have a quarterback. They have the guy they thought was quarterback. Find me an offense that's lost the QB. And by the way, a QB that does something that the backup can't do.
Right.
So it changes even
everything
more than just you lose your starting QB. You're already replacing 4 linemen, and you keep having to move things around because you've had a lineman injured every week. So just on Saturday alone, by halftime, you're playing without 2 of your 5 starters up front. You don't have the quarterback. You're playing without 2 of your 3 starting receivers. And it's an absolute mess right now.
Remind everybody where you're going to be this weekend and what you expect to see here when you visit.
Yeah, we'll be at Kyle Field for the 6 o'clock start with Jordan Rogers and Cole Kublik. Hopefully we'll get to practice on Thursday, but haven't made my travel plans just yet. I expect to see a sense of urgency around this program. Mississippi State can beat anybody in the league. I don't think they will. They seem to be relatively undisciplined, lack of focus at times. And that applies to the coaching staff as well. Zach Arnett's a really good defensive coordinator, so he can throw some non-traditional things up there. But I expect to see a sense of urgency from A&M to get the offense right and get the offensive line to take a big leap. Defensively, obviously, Mississippi State's pretty unique. Now, Barry Odom gave everybody a game plan for how to beat him last year, rush 3, drop 8, and that's been effective against some other things. You get a chance to get to the quarterback sometimes. He holds on to it a little bit for that offense. But I would expect as of now, before I go too deep into prep, I would expect A&M to bounce back in a big way, take advantage of a home field advantage, which it's always great to be there for a night game, and start to build some momentum that they lost by not pulling it off at Jerry World last weekend.
Peter, it's gone weird. Like I was angry, I was proud, I was angry, I'm happy or not happy, optimistic, and now I'm like ticked off again. Like it's just, there's a lot of emotions when a team is just, you have a chance, but did you really when the offense isn't moving? So I think there's a lot of questions in my head that I'm trying to figure out.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of what we looked at as well, too. I mean, listen, I was riding with the Aggies this weekend, right? We do a Tell the Truth Monday where we kind of go back and look at our predictions on our Friday, and, I missed the boat on this. I thought, hey, listen, I know that there were some issues with the offensive line, but, hey, that's why Jimbo Fisher makes $9 million to kind of figure that out. I didn't think that, they would struggle the way they did and just got kind of dominated on both sides of the ball. I thought that they'd be able to put kind of 8 in the box and force KJ Jefferson to make some tight throws, and to his credit, he did, right? I mean, this was not, guys really wide open. It's just Kendall Briles got the right guys and the right play calls together, and KJ Jefferson and Treylon Burks is an NFL stud, man. I mean, he's a monster in the making. So, obviously disappointing, and now you start looking at it. How do you recalculate and recalibrate what you want to get accomplished there in College Station?
Yeah, so there's so many questions. You got guys injured on the offensive line. You got wide receivers that aren't getting the ball. You've got a line that's not blocking enough and a quarterback who's holding the ball too much. Is there something there that you've seen that makes you say, just kind of get through this next little stretch and, Haynes King is coming at some point? How do you fix it, Peter?
Yeah, I mean, how you fix it is you go into the DeLorean and you say, hey, this whole name, image, and likeness thing, let's do it 1 year earlier to where a bunch of guys decide to come back for one more year and see him, especially on that offensive line and some of the depth. But obviously that's not doable. I mean, I almost know, it just looks weird, and I know it's the best intentions, and I know, the reason why they're doing that is because the coaching, but man, it seems like after every single play, Calzada's looking over to the side to Jimbo, and Jimbo's giving him a dissertation of, hey, this is what we're trying to do. And that's coaching 101, right? And I don't know if it doesn't necessarily feel like Calzada's playing tight. It's just that offensive line just is not gelling. And the things that he's trying to do with them, it's just not a good mix. But Gene Chizik was telling us that in studio while we're watching that game, just like, man, if you don't have an offensive line in this conference, you got no shot. I don't care if you've got, Aaron Rodgers back there at quarterback. So I don't necessarily place it on Calzada. I think you just ran into a damn buzzsaw. And, that's an Arkansas team that is legit. I mean, I liken it this way, David. I don't know how you feel about it, but Arkansas football reminds me of, every year in March Madness, there's that one team that has like a bunch of seniors, kind of this mid-major that just ruins everybody's brackets with a bunch of 5-stars, and they don't care who the hell they are. They're just a team. That's what it kind of feels like with what's brewing in Fayetteville right now with this Hawks.
All right, to catch the entire show, become a premium subscriber at TexAgs.com. You got to like this. You got to talk about it. You've got to share it. Do all the great stuff here. Follow it. Thanks so much for watching TexAgs Rewind.